So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our conjunction video of the week. And this week we're going to be covering Sun, Venus in the 6th house of your birth chart. And what happens when Sun and Venus are in the 6th house of your horoscope. And as always, if you do not know if you have this particular conjunction, what sign it's in, what nakshatra it's in, all the other astrological details. For that, check out the links here. Check out my full astrological report under the shop section, including my books, consultations, and link to my academy, Magha Vedic Astrology Academy, where I teach you A through Z of astrology, including my new course on planets through nakshatras and ascendant through nakshatras, along with other things related to nakshatras. So anyway, let's start with this conjunction. Now, before we get into this particular conjunction video, I'm just letting you know, if you do not want to hear negative things about this conjunction, then please leave this video, pause this video, go away, watch some other video of mine, okay? Mine alone, all right? Shut up. Don't look at anything else. Just my videos. But yeah, if you don't want to hear anything negative, just leave now. Because I don't want to hear in the comments, oh my God, can you be more positive? Can you be more this? I mean, I can't be positive all the time. You know, there's good and bad with everything. So with this particular conjunction, all right, I personally have always seen major marriage problems that do end up in a divorce. And sometimes it is due to one of the spouses having an affair with somebody at work. Or also I have seen where the other spouse spends too much on debts. Like they love spending money on credit card. They love to rack up debt, which causes problem with the other person in terms of, you know, having a balanced household. Now, it's very easy to understand this conjunction because if you look at it from the Aries point of view, where all of astrology begins and ends, Venus rules the 7th house of marriage, 2nd house of wealth and family. So Venus originally goes into the 6th house, which is the original debilitated position of Venus. Okay. So we naturally see arguments, fights, divorces, many breakups in relationships. Then 2nd Lord is also in the 2nd house. From the original Aries perspective, doesn't matter what your ascendant is, it is always going to be that energy. 2nd Lord in the 6th house, meaning a person tries to gain money through debts, gain money through borrowing money, through loans. Then you have Sun, the original 5th house of romance, love, children, intelligence, okay? And that too goes into the 6th house. 6th house is also known as the house of Swapatni, meaning the mistress or the person you have affair. Whether you're a man or woman, doesn't matter. It is going to be both for the same. Okay, it's just that certain ancient language has always been predicated towards, you know, the male gender, but it's for both. Now, why is it that this particular conjunction makes it that? Because see, if Venus was alone in the 6th house, I wouldn't have said this. But Sun, most of the time, is combusting Venus. Okay? So if Venus is not combust, this is where the good part comes in, that even though there will be arguments in the marriage, there will not be any chances of divorce unless, of course, you have other malefic influences upon the 7th house or the 6th house. Otherwise, you're good. Especially also if Venus is in Parivartan Yoga with Mercury, meaning Mercury is in the 7th house. Venus is in, doesn't matter what your ascendant is or actually you need to know what your ascendant is. You have to see if Venus is in Parivartan Yoga with the 7th Lord. So let's say 6th Lord is in the 7th house, 7th Lord is in the 6th house. That itself is quite okay for marriage. Because Venus's energy really belongs into the 7th house. And those planets will not destroy each other's houses. But if you don't have any of these conditions, then Sun comes in. Sun is a powering planet, and these two are enemies. And the other thing you will see with this Sun and Venus is that your father and your spouse will always have arguments. Your father may go after your spouse related to the debt they're incurring within the marriage. Whether it's a son or daughter, doesn't matter. The other thing we also see is that a person can deal with things related to diabetes with this. Because again, the floodlight of the sun is upon Venus. And Venus is sugary things. Venus is, the pancreas, and Venus is the kidneys. So these people they could have sweet tooth. Why? Because Venus aspects the 12th house of pleasures. So any planet in the 6th house that aspects the 12th house, person can be indulgent towards those things. Having a sweet tooth. So it doesn't matter if your Venus is in the 12th or Venus is in the 6th. It will do the same because its energies now aspecting the 12th house. Now, one place where this can make a person rise in their life, so maybe not, relationships, but where this person can rise is in field of diplomacy, law, especially being in divorce law, going into business or work related to loans. This is where this will have some, good effect of the conjunction. And regardless of, especially for men, actually, if you have this conjunction, you are going to be the one who's going to have to be subservient in the marriage. The moment you try to become that overly masculine, dominating DNA within the marriage, the other person will rebel. Because 6th house is a house of rebelliousness. So the spouse is looking for some trigger to rebel against you. So, and especially, this is regardless of even the Navamsha. I have seen where Venus is beautifully placed in Navamsha, doesn't have any ill effect. 7th house is fine, but yet somehow a divorce occurred. Because Venus was like literally 2 degrees away from, the sun. And Venus, let's say, is strengthened in Navamsha, even though sun would still be with Venus in Navamsha, it's in a very strong placement where usually it would do well. But because in the birth chart, sun is with Venus, that's where that connection then causes that problem. Because sometimes sun may not be with Venus, but in Navamsha it might be Venus due to their padhas. So these are the things you want to, kind of look for. Okay. So anyway, guys, this was my analysis of Venus and Sun conjunction in the 6th house. And if you're new to my channel, subscribe below so you don't miss these type of videos. And if you want to know where your sun is placed, all the other astrological details, for that, check out the links here. Otherwise, we'll see you this weekend. Bye-bye.